Shelley Winter Show live, local, topical, and relevant. Before we get to the Daniel Penny story case out of New York City, let's go to Joyce. Hey, Joyce.
Hey, Shelley. I am happy to make my opinion tonight, Shelley, because every African American knows that there are two justice systems. There is a system for African Americans or a people of color, and there's a system for those with power, those who are well connected, and those who have the means to hire the best attorneys that money can buy.
I would say the same thing differently. There's two justice systems, one for rich people and one for poor people. Not necessarily black people, but poor whites suffer the same problems that poor blacks or black and African Americans and people of color, whatever you want to call them. Poor whites suffer that same dishonest and different justice system. But go ahead.
And the other point that I'd like to make is that Bill Cosby, he went to prison and he was blind. Bill Cosby. And when you look at Diddy, who's now incarcerated but not in prison, he's going to be there until his trial. And he has the means. So those are two different people, celebrities, with the means, but they are going to do, and Diddy is doing, and Bill Cosby has done the time.
Let me point out to you.
I wanted to convey.
I totally agree with you. Let me convey to you though. However, in Bill Cosby's case, I'll tell you in both cases. In Bill Cosby's case, the prosecutor ran in that county, saying that he was going to prosecute and jail Bill Cosby, and he was elected. He ran on it, and he was elected, and he was voted in by a large number of African Americans. So I throw that out there just to kind of go with what you're saying, but to kind of counter it a little bit. And in the case of Diddy, as a rich and powerful man, Epstein hung himself in jail. He was a rich and powerful white guy. And Harvey Weinstein is still sitting in jail as an old sick man who has to go to the hospital every 2 days. So my point to you is that it's easy to throw it out there, but I can name situations where rich and powerful white guys are sitting in jail for much of the same crimes. As for Diddy, he's sitting in jail simply because he has videos of many of these rich and powerful people that they don't want to get out. That's my opinion on that, because he's offered up millions and millions and millions of dollars for bail, and they keep denying him bail. So we'll see how that turns out. But great call, Joyce. Great call, my sister.
Talk to you later.
All right. And to her point, I'm getting ready to talk about Daniel Penny. When you talk about two justice systems, Daniel Penny is a guy. Describe the story. He was on a train, the 7 train, which I've been on many times in my life, being from a native New Yorker. Rode the 7 train many times, out to Queens, out to Shea Stadium, wait, was it the 7? I think it was the 7, or was it the F train? F train, I'm sorry, it was an F train, and been on that train also, as well. But he was on an F train in New York City. Jordan Neely, a mentally ill man, homeless man, on drugs, walked into the train car that Mr. Penny and many other New Yorkers were on, and he started yelling that he was going to jail today. I'm going to go to jail today. I don't care who I have to kill. I'm going to jail today. I need food. I'm going to jail today. I don't care who I have to kill. That's what he was saying. Women with children cowering, protecting their daughter, or in the case of one young lady, protecting her daughter because she didn't know what he was going to do. Now, let's understand this. In New York City, you have situations where people have been stabbed just randomly, pushed on trains randomly, punched randomly, shot randomly, macheted randomly by mentally ill people. So if someone mentally ill gets on a train and starts screaming, I'm going to go to jail today, even if I have to kill someone, you must take them at their word. You must, because there's so many stories in New York City of that happening. People standing on a platform waiting for a train get shoved onto a train by a mentally ill man. So you must take him at his word. Daniel Penny took him at his word. He saw the women and children scared. So he put him in a chokehold to subdue him. And Mr. Neely passed away. Now he's on trial for manslaughter, closing arguments today. Why they're prosecuting this man, I would say to Joyce, two different justice systems. Would Alvin Bragg be prosecuting Mr. Penny if he was African American and the other person was African American as well? Well, we would probably say no, because he's not done it in other cases. Some people have gone home on bail. Some people have walked away. They're mentally ill. Would Mr. Bragg be going after Mr. Penny if the races were reversed? There's an argument to be say no, because Mr. Penny wasn't arrested at the time that this happened. It was only until 10 days later that Mr. Bragg skipped over a grand jury and arrested Mr. Penny. And you know why he did it? Because of the outrage from the community yelling at Alvin Bragg that, why did you let this white man kill this brother on the train? And that's the only reason Alvin Bragg went after Mr. Penny. Yes, Joyce is right. There are two justice systems. But now we're seeing there may be possibly three. I hope Mr. Penny gets off. I hope this jury puts themselves in a place of every single man and woman on that F train that day, and they look and see, and they say to themselves, wow, if I were on that train that day, would I have liked to have had Mr. Penny there to defend me, even though he doesn't even know me from Adam? I hope that jury comes back with a not guilty verdict, because we can't have this, because if he gets found guilty, New York, big cities like New York, Atlanta, places like this, people already ignore crime. You could see someone getting robbed right across from you. I'm not going to get involved. It has nothing to do with me. If he gets found guilty for manslaughter and goes to jail for any significant amount of time, everyone in New York will put their heads in the sand and keep walking when they see someone in distress. And that's going to be the legacy of Alvin Bragg and the Daniel Penny case. We'll be right back. 448-720-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk.